So I am recording as I am stating this. So I want to do something. Time 5 seconds. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. So now this is my calendar, and today is obviously this one is too far. The 29th. I want a different set of a calendar. It's going to be around about September. Okay, let me do it again. All right, yeah, got the calendar that I want. So, as I was saying that today is the 29th. So on the 13th, we are having our test one. We are having our test one. As you can see, it will be on a Saturday. So I don't know. I don't like 8 o'clock. I would never ask anyone to come at 8 o'clock unless people prefers 8 o'clock. I think 9. It's better. It's still early. So I'll give it a lot of time. Like let's say I'll make it a 2-hour test. 30 minutes on the theory part. That one will be straightforward. Then after that, it will be on the simulation. The simulation might be a little bit long, but I need to appreciate the fact that whatever that I do on that simulation determines how long I'm going to mark also. So as much as it is tricky to really put the standard that you want as an individual, but it becomes a little bit tricky. So now I want to emphasize this. People need to really start practicing giving themselves an hour per day at least to go through some of the techniques that we've covered between these 2 chapters. You must give yourself time to do these techniques. I haven't yet. I'm still processing what am I going to set, but I have a clue that it is going to be between these. I'm going to take certain concepts in chapter 4 and certain concepts in chapter 5, and I want to see how far can I go with chapter 6 and probably also with chapter 6, but I won't make it too difficult even for me to mark. I need to appreciate that fact that I'm still new on the module, and yeah, it has a lot of things, and I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of challenges too when you are doing it. And however, make it a point that you kind of, whenever you write down things, you have to have this culture of writing down on the side, write yourself notes, what does this mean and stuff like that. Compare with the book what they explain also. So yeah, I'll make another announcement during the week. There are two announcements that I'll make during the week. One, it's more of a surprise, one of them. And then the second one would be to really affirm our test for the 18th. I still need to affirm it because of this is a we are assessing a GA, and therefore I might need to moderate the test. So I need to be sure that my moderator has been employed and I have contact. So I have 2 weeks to prep that. So this not coming next week. That's when I'll verify everything. I'll make sure that indeed everything can work out. And my invigilator, I'm in communication with them because I haven't yet gotten the update on the status of my moderator. But at least I know them and I have their number, but I haven't yet started to make communication because I don't want to find a situation whereby he tells me that no, I'm going to reject your contract. So it is best if he tells them and then they tell me that he doesn't want anything to do with us. Then I will then look for an alternative because I do have a person in mind that I trust he can assist me with this. So now, with that said, I believe we can commence. I'm a little bit disappointed at the fact that people decided not to attend. I know that our classes are recorded. However, it is still necessary for you to attend and to have your software ready to do whatever that I do. It is becoming a little bit different from when you are practicing alone later on, and it will become much harder for you to understand the concept. So on today's chapter, which is chapter 5, we are going to do a system in a call center, which is it's a service sector. And even the book still does code that the software is used for, or it was designed for manufacturing. However, in this section, we are going to be conducting an analysis on the example we will use for this chapter is a telephone call center, including technical support, sales support, and order status checking. So this is where, okay, so now these are the three department your call will go to. You have options to select. So they're going to be covered under section 5.1. So the book is tedious, as you can see. I am still hunting for notes, and I'm still trying to find ways also to extract only the information that I need so that I give you notes that make sense. But I need to emphasize this, that thing, it won't happen this year, whereby I give you notes that are comprehensive in a point that they kind of guide you on exactly what you must do, instead of these storylines that the book has. It has a lot of storylines. As you can see, this is too much. And every time you're hungry to learn what is Arena all about, and it keeps on explaining a lot of things. So yeah, without any waste of time, we have our generic call center that provides a central number in an organization that customers call for technical support, sales information, and order status. So that part of order status, I think I've been describing it wrong for the past week as I was practicing. Therefore, I think it made me not to understand what was really happening there. But it's not a problem now. I see light. So let's see now. I will be drawing this because you're typically required to be able to draw this. You're typically required to be able to draw this from reading point of view. I think this one was zoom the way I wanted to zoom. So now we have what? Incoming calls. That's your arrival of products, create. And then these incoming calls arrive with interval times of being exponentially distributed with a mean of. So now immediately I want to introduce something. So I want to start introducing expressions whereby this is the expression in time. So now it's going to be in calls time. So I'm introducing variables now. This is going to be calls time. And then your entity type is calls. Then we don't edit everything else. We are editing based on this point of view. The data as is there, we are editing only the data for now until we then go to the section of analytics, like where they tell us exactly what to do. So this will help you to have a map. So guys, the storyline similar to this. This is what you're going to get, basically. A similar storyline to this with this this volume of information or data. So now we have this. Remember, that's time. Yeah? So I want us to go to under expressions. Add the first one. Yeah? We had calls time. Calls time. So then we go under expressions. So that is expo. I want us to adopt this type of 857. If you adopt this type of capturing your data, your delay times and stuff like that, by giving them names, you will see at the later stage what impact does that have on making life easy. So now we have now this central number feeds 26 trunk lines. So in the phone industry, we have what we call trunk line, which is something that I haven't explored in terms of Google wise. I want to see what does this mean. Okay, I see there's a so it's more like your what do you call that thing, guys? You know it, man. Whenever you call a call center, then there's an automated voice that you talk to. Yeah? So the trunk line, it's that. So it can handle a certain number of calls that are coming in. In our case, it's 26. So immediately, we have been informed of the limitation of the system, and therefore you can easily come up with this with record. You can easily notice that no, here I need a record, recording of the incoming calls, because already we have a limit that they need to be 26. And then we have an if statement. We have an if statement immediately after that that states that if all calls are in use, a caller gets a busy signal. Hopefully, the caller will try again later. But for our model, he just goes away. I don't know why they didn't make the caller be exposed on the music and give a probability of coming back on the system if it happens that now the system is available. But that would complicate the circuit or the simulation. So the simpler the better. And this is what I will do also in the test. Then here they say an answered caller hears a recording describing 3 options: transfer to technical support, sales information, or order status inquiry. So you're hearing 3 options. Then they have a choice to, they are distributed on this scale, 76, 16%, and 8% respectively. Estimated time for this activity is uniform 01 and 06. All times are in minutes of the entire system. However, we are being told that if all 26 lines are occupied, then we are dumping. So it is simple like that you must now include a decision. If all lines are in use, we then dump the information, just like that. Then you need to ask yourself a question also. This one in my head, this is me in my head, I would say this is going to be by a condition. The condition is going to be expression or maybe a variable or something like that. Then the variable, then we come with this, you see, and we say it's below 26. So if maybe I think incoming calls is greater or equals to, but we need to leave it like this. Will be guided because there's a special information that they will put here. So however this is actually going to be an expression, we leave it here like this. Leave it like that. Then because first thing first, you need to draw the thing. But because of you'll be practicing after that, you will know which details are you supposed to put. This is a good example actually for a test level. So now we are informed that uh, by just looking at it, you can also realize that there's a certain number of calls that are going to be rejected outright. So you can just dispose those calls. So what you're going to do, you say dispose, but firstly record before you dispose. Record the number of rejected calls and dispose the rejected calls. All right. Then we carry on. So we can see that they say, oh, okay. Uh, Immediately after this, those that are within the 26 number, they are going through the system. They're going through the system. They're going to be like this. So now, if a caller is answered, yeah, which is true, it's answered. The caller hears recording description 3. So like he's hearing something now. So we're going to have we're going to possibly okay. So in this case, okay, because we are just doing a rough estimate. So let's see the estimate time activity of this is that. Okay, if your caller choose technical support, then we have a new set of information. But before he gets this, because you can tell that there is a process that needs to take place here that describe all this information. So it's a voice recording that describes whatever that is happening there. So you want to cease in the form of this cease. It's more like you cease the recording, yeah, that you're going to play, and then you assign, and then you they go to what you call animation. They store, because there's a decision that you make there. So like you choose, you store, you need to store the recording, or the option that they're going to select, and you need to play the recording. The recording, when you play the recording, you delay the recording. Then after that, you unstore, meaning releasing the memory of the call, because the call has been sent or has been received. So you go again under animation, then you unstore the call. Then after installing the call, you release the entity so that it can move, or the resource so that it can move along. Okay, so now the system looks like this now. The system looks like this. So now we seized the resource, which is the recording, and we're obviously making the assign, meaning we want to, usually they even change the here what they are assigning was going to be the work in progress. So they're going to assign the work in progress variable, and after that, then you actually don't need to depict this. You don't need even this assign. I think it's pretty much over for now. But you seize, then you have, because of you're having the store, you store and you delay by playing the recording, and you unstore the choice the customer makes, and you release the resource, meaning release the entity so that it can go elsewhere. You release the entity so that it can go elsewhere. So where does the entity goes to? The entity is going to uh, this section 76, 16, 18. So we're going to, the entity is going to go under a decision. So on that decision, it's going to decide on three things. So it's decide on chance, but number of ways. So number one, it's going to be 76. And number two, it's going to be 16. And number three, we don't add number three. Why? Because we have else, meaning that if 76 and 16 are occupied, then we have else. So there, that's your else, meaning that the remainder, which is, I believe, 8%, 76 plus 16, you should be getting 92. The remainder of that is it's 8%. That 8% is going to that 8% is going to order status inquiry, meaning customers that are looking for their status. They want to hear the status. Okay. Now, I need to be able to project to see and visualize how much you are seeing, because so now our system looks like this. So we are going to connect it now. Connect to that and connect there. So you see now we're going forward, and now from release we are going to this decision. That's a decision we're going to next. So now I'm gonna go a little bit below like that. Then I'm going to zoom. So we have this decision. We've only added this information. We never added anything there because we are reading now. We are just reading the question. Once you can't come up with the flow chart, not that I'm gonna make it a difficult flow chart. Once you can't come up with the flow chart, we are really in trouble. You need to appreciate that very quickly. Then now, after that, we are here. We are going to, what is this process? The estimate time for this activity is uniform 0, 1, and 6, and 0.6. That comes here. It's this time here. It's going to be in minutes. you take uniform there. (0.1), 0.5, and okay. Then the percent, okay, 0.1, 0.6. It's easy to make this mistake. Because you don't want to go back and forth, then it's best to fill it up like that. Then you want to know something, that if the caller chooses technical support, I guess they're being delayed here and they're making a choice. That's why we are storing the choice that they're making, and we uninstall it as soon as they've selected so that somebody else can make the similar choice. If they select to go to technical, now there's another one. If they select to go to technical, then which of three, okay, if the caller chooses technical support, a second recording now starts. You see, so we are starting the similar sequence of event like that one. So we're going to cease the recording, and under animate, we're going to we're going to store the choice that the person makes, and we're going to delay the recording, meaning play the recording. So after that, we're going to unstore the recording. Once we know that he has selected, we unstore the recording, and we're going to release the resource, release the recording, meaning the person now was given an opportunity to make a choice now. The customer is once again given an opportunity to make a choice. Then we unzoom, then our system looks like this. Oh, Ivan, where did you go now? Then the system looks like this. So when I zoom, it's going to be like this. Then now it is clear, and it is as daylight that we need another choice, because they say we are given an option of 3 products. So product type 1, type 2, type 3. So they are distributed in this manner. So you are given a choice. So you make another decision. So now, under this decision, you're going to have 25, actually n way, number of chance, add, we have 25, add, we have what? 34. The remainder is going to be product number 3. The remainder is going to be product number 3. Okay, at product number 3, if the technical support person is available for the selected product, the call is automatically routed to the person. If none is currently available, the customer is placed in the electronic queue where he is subjected to the annoying rock music until support time is available. So meaning that if there is no one that is available, then this will be seized here and the music will be channeled there. However, we're not necessarily going to be exposed on how the music is differentiated with everything else, but we believe that because of there's a queue here, then the very same queue is the one that is utilized as a form of a music. Where is the queue? This is a sign of a queue. You see a queue identifier there. We haven't yet given it a name. Another queue is there. Queue. Okay. So now we bring in now. We are told that the time for all technical support calls, all three of them, is to be in a triangular distribution of 3, 6, and 18 minutes, regardless of the product type that the customer wants assistance with. So upon completion of the call, the customer exits the system. So from that point of view, the customer exits the system. So now we can use this our process for what you call this, for product 1, for product 2, and for product 3. Okay. So now you need to do this. That is this one. Okay, then that is that one there, and this is this one here. Okay, you can see that we are just here, actually here. Then they say the person exists, the system, done. Then we need to go to somebody else now. This one, 16. Agree, this one goes with that. This goes with this. This goes with that. Okay. Now we want to go to the salesperson now, which is 16. Salesperson, the sales calls are automatically routed to the sales staff. If a sales is not available, the sales the caller is treated to a smooth new age space music. After all, we are hoping for a sale. Sales calls are estimated to be in the triangular distribution of 4, 15, 45. 45 minutes. Salespeople tend to talk a lot more than technical support people. Those ones that just want to get the problem to be solved. I agree with Lileka, you want to just solve the problem, so we need to get rid of you and go. But under sales, hey, we must give you an upgrade right there and there to say, hey, Muna, we tell you the features and stuff like that. We lie to you until you buy. And we add another watch on top of your phone. We say, hey, take your watch also. So make sure that you don't go home in peace. You must buy something extra on top of that. So they need a lot of time. So these guys now, ideally, you see it as something of you're just going to take a process. So you can jump this process. Let it jump. So we unzoom. It's going to jump there. So this process is going to jump there, and it's because we are given time here. Before we forget these times, you see now we're having the triangular time for sales calls, sales time now, and we have technical time. We're going to have a problem. So they said that this thing is triangular 3, 6, 18. Then the second one, 3, whatever, 18. You can tell that this is not going to work. But if you were to do this, then you say, this is going to be my tech time. You are able to enter all three of them and give them the tech time. Tech time. Tech time. Tech time. Then this one is going to be sales time. Give them a lot of time. Then, but this is not where you're going to write your times. Remember earlier on, I introduced expression. Now we want these guys to come here. The tech time and the sales guy, the sales time. So now we were just writing tech time only once. Tech time. The spelling is imperative that it must match. If it doesn't match, you're in trouble. Then that is your tria, open bracket, with the time 3, 6, 18, close bracket, and there. Then this one is going to be sales time, 4 minutes at minimum, 15 at average, and then at 45 maximum. And these are just time estimates. They are not saying that if the time goes above this, you're going to hang up the call. At the end of the day, it's about the sales conversion. Sales time. And now you know that the tech time, they are using the same time. The tech time is the same. The tech time is the same. And the nice thing is, you see we have this, we have delay there, we have this. We know usually it's in minutes. Okay? The tech time is in minutes. Now we're in the house of tables. Tech time, sales time. We move right along. Callers request order status information, and those are handled by phone system, and there is no limit of number the system can handle, except that there are only 26 trunk lines. So already this is a limit by itself. So now we have the order. So it's a process also, order. You can tell that it's possible to come to expression and add the order time, even if you don't know it. So I think the order time could be this, but we want to understand first we're gonna read. Since ongoing order status call occupies one of these lines, the estimate time for these transactions is between 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. So this is what the estimated process time for the order. Okay, so two comma 4 comma 2,3,4. Okay, then we are informed that however 15% of these callers opt to speak to a real person after they have received their order status. So you get the order status and you get you choose 15% of them they opt to speak, 85 of them possibly they leave the system. Yeah, 85 of them they leave the system. However, 15% of them they maintain the call. So now there's a transaction taking place here, which we're not told about how the procedure is being conducted, what is the person hearing, but they are handled by the system, which is not a problem. We're going to look at these calls are routed to the sales staff, where they wait with a lower priority than sales calls. This means that if an order status call is in a queue, so meaning that there's a lost priority, the people from order side, you can able to move to sales. Then from sales, you are not given a priority to talk to the salesperson. Even if you are first in the line, you are not given that priority. New arriving sales call. Basically, what this means that if an order status call is in a queue waiting for a salesperson and a new arriving sales calls enters, the sales call will be given priority over the order status call, and that was answered first. These follow-up order status calls are estimated to last which they last the same time as this. And then after that, these callers they exit the system. So you can tell that there's another percentage of people decision whereby we are saying 15% of our calls, 15% of our calls are going to sales. So this one expression, its resource is going to be order time. Its expression, its resource is going to be sales, not other people. There's no other people. You go to sales once you want to talk to sales because you've had you've already listened to your order status. Okay, so they're doing it differently to connect it here. So I don't want to dwell much with that now. I just want to give out this rough estimate, a diagram from this. Then we are being informed now. There are 4 sales people. So you go under resources. This I can immediately remove. We are being informed that We are being informed that under resource, we have sales. So this is sales personnel. We're gonna leave it as sales. There are how many? There are 4 salespeople. 4 salespeople. And under the product types, remember we had 3 product types. The type 1 call, type 1 has how many resources? Have 3, have 2. And then type 2 has type 2 has 3 calls. Okay, so what are they saying? That there, over the course of the day, there are 8 technical support people. So already we're running at 5. Then obviously type 3 is going to be 3 also. Type 3 is going to be 3 personnel. All right, so now you have also what? There are obviously there are no there are 4 sales employees to answer sales calls and those other status calls that opt to speak to a real person. So there are 4 salespeople. Okay. As a point of interest, we will count the number of customer calls that are not able to get a trunk line and thus rejected from entering the system. Similar parking in queuing system though parking usually means a decision on customer's part not to enter, rather being rejected in the model. However, we won't consider reneging customers who get a trunk line initially but later hang up the phone before being served. Okay. Then from from a simulation point of view, the problem is quite different from the ones we've covered in chapter 3 and 4. The most obvious difference is that the previous systems were in manufacturing oriented system and this system is on the service nature. So but we are still doing it regardless. We are still going to push it. So I could take some of the ideas from this and make it in a manufacturing orientated. There are a lot of ideas that I did pick up from this section. However, you need to appreciate the fact that I have no desire of making my simulations difficult. So another important aspect here is the 3-way decisions that they spoke about. You can read that on your own, that's not a problem. But what I want to reiterate is in the variable and expressions. So I'm introducing variables and expressions in this. So in many models, we might want to reuse data in several different places. You understand? So the reason why I'm now capturing through expression is because of I want to be able to reuse data. Imagine, for an example, I want to edit. This time is the single time. This time here is the same time. They're using the same time. I want to edit this. Instead of editing it 3 times, I'm going to my expression and then I go to take time and I edit this. Immediately, the take time is going to be affected across board here. So if your process gets bigger and bigger, then you are able to still change the time at a much faster pace. All right. Then now, for example, in our call center, there will be several places where we will need to enter the distributions for the time to handle the technical support calls. If we decide to change this value during our experimentation, we'll have to open each dialog that include the call time and change the value, and you don't want that. And there are other situations where we might want to keep track of the total number of entities in the system. That's your work in progress. So you need a variable to do that. So that's why now we have Arena variables expressions that allow us to fulfill these kinds of needs. Variable now module allows you to define your global variables and their initial values. Variables can be referenced in a model by their names. They can also be specified as one or two-dimensional arrays. So, although variables and expressions may appear to be quite similar, they serve distinctly different functions. You have user-defined variables, store some real-valued quantity that can be reassigned during the simulation run. For example, we could define a variable called wait time with initial value of 2 and enter the variable name wherever a wait time was required. Okay, so we could also define variable called number in system. Number in system with an initial value of 0, add 1 to this variable. This is very common. This is very application of variables. Add one of these variable every time a new part enter the system, and subtract one from it every time a part exit the system. Then it helps you to keep track. You see, it helps you to keep track of the number of calls in the system. And then the other ones, the last two will be used to determine the generation of incoming calls after 10 hours. User-defined expression, on the other hand, don't store a value. Instead, they provide a way of associating a name with some mathematical expression, right? So variables and expressions have many other uses that we hope will become obvious as you become more familiar with Arena. So now, a storage now. They now talk about a storage. I didn't read much about the storage, as I said before, that this thing has a tendency of over explaining itself, and it's tiring sometimes when you want to read. I want to know how to use Arena, not how to. But yeah, either way, we have a storage holds a non-ordered set of entities that are waiting for an event to occur. For example, the conclusion of predefined delay time or the arrival of requested transporter that is en route. You might think of a storage as a variable that we can increment or decrement with the added feature that we can animate the entities that are in the storage. Right from there, it's a lot of theory, as you can see. This book, and they're telling you where you are gonna find everything that you're gonna need. So now we are going to start with this section. We're going to be taken to this section. But obviously, for me to work nicely, I need to remove this book and put it on the side. And first thing first you come across is the diagram. So, and the names. So with this, you can almost fix your diagram. And the nice thing is, whenever you work, you want to be safe. Is look at how often do they say create call arrivals, record all attempted, cease trunk. It tells you what type of module is there. This thing is called increment. This is assigned based on the shape. This is a store. This is an initial recording delay. This is unstore from initial recording delay. The record rejected call. Dispose or of rejected call. You can almost tell what is happening. You can almost tell that, oh, okay, this is what they are. Whenever I use something, I need to start with it, like for instance, delay what and stuff like that. When you take longer to prepare, when you need to deliver and you deliver for longer, the body tends to give up on you. Yeah. So now, number one, we're gonna go. Now we are building this. Now we need to be on stealth mode. What are we creating? We are creating arriving calls. Create arrive calls. And then entities calls. Expression already is given there. We are I want to say something. I don't know why I didn't highlight this part. They say here. They say here. We recommend that you lay out your complete logic before start filling in the details. And you can almost put that those minor details that are there. You know what that will do? That will do? If you because I know students, you forget easily. That's why when you submit, I won't say give me tables. Nah, I'll do the tables myself, because I'll know that under entity there's, under expression there's this, under Q there's that, under resource there's this, under who else? Q, yeah. So, but I will definitely know. Even variable also, when you need to use a variable, I will know that, oh, okay, this is what is happening. I'll definitely know, and I start marking. Even if, like as I said, the work must have a lot of marks than the simulation itself and the reporting. The reporting you're gonna match in your assignment. Mind you, the assignment is already out. It's due on the last month of September. which is going to be the 30th. So make it a point that you do the assignment. And I really would like you guys to submit on that day so that I'll be marking your assignment and two more other assignments from my other classes. So, and by the 15th of October, they want their final marks. And between that space, I need to also moderate. I need to also give people redos and stuff like that. So yeah, let's not waste any time. So now this is going to be create call arrivals. Call arrivals. So they say they give it a name as entity as incoming calls. Incoming call. Not a problem to me, that one. And then there's this one that is very interesting. This is going to be a variable. We are teaching you a variable. It's very critical. So this is going to calls per arrival. Entities per arrival. Calls per arrival. Spelling. Maximum calls is going to be max calls. We start at 0. This just names that we need to use somewhere. Where are we going to use them? We're going to use them under variables. Come under variable. Unfortunately, it doesn't recognize it as a variable yet. However, once you say max calls, and it says real there, real data, meaning that it's an integer. It only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't take 0.0 something. So this one makes calls is going to be 999, meaning that like we don't limit them for the number of calls they can have. You understand? It could be infinite, but there's a variable cannot be regarded as infinite. So we need a number. So it's a million. We know that there's no way they'll reach million. Okay. Then we add another one. This one we can somehow go and copy it because of the spelling issue. The spelling can be wrong, but once it's the same across board, it's not wrong. You need to appreciate that. If the spelling is consistent, therefore it's not wrong. Then this one is calls that arrives at the time must be 1. Calls that arrive at the time must be 1. So this is how they demonstrated the use of variables. And now you can tell that variables and expressions are totally different. Under expressions, we are able to utilize our expression. They still say calls time, tag time, sales time. However, look at the call time. It's expo. So, and it's a 0. It's a distribution. You cannot go under that. Let's say you want to take the calls time, you make it a variable. Variable calls time. You see now already even there it has a problem. It says no, I don't operate like this. Then you say okay, make it that. You see now it agrees. It only wants words that are similar to this one. Then you tell it that okay, I want to say expo 0.5. Even if you say whole number 5, You see, immediately it doesn't allow you. It won't accept this. It won't accept this. It tells you that this is wrong. So now you can see that the types of values that are required for variables are those that are whole numbers, 18, 14, and they don't vary. They are not necessarily they don't vary. They're not on a distribution. They're not statistical. Okay, then there was a saying that the system stops receiving calls at 6 o'clock in the evening. This needs to be ticked, otherwise you won't get these values. They say that, remember that the system closes to new calls after 6 p.m. So that tells you something. Where's our variables? What's the next call? 99. Which one will close our calls? Okay, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Remember that let's read here. Yeah. It says, remember that the system closes to new calls after 6 p.m. But remember, when it closes calls, it's like at the bank. I'll make an example of the bank. And also it's a possible test question, the bank scenario. So we say at the bank, just because of the bank has closed, they don't say, hey, brothers and sisters hurrying out. They assist you. At the clinic also, which is another possible scenario, they assist you even post that, but they never receive new patients. They never allow any new walk-ins into the bank, guys. Keep that in mind. Don't allow new walk-ins. A nice example, this one. It has potential for a test, both the scenarios. So now, I don't want to read too much. I want to read the stuff that I highlighted. Like I spent 5 days reading this. I cannot read it again. This storytelling of these people, not nice. Therefore, we need to define a variable, max calls. Okay? So next, we need to type name of our variable, which is max calls. Then click on the initial value cell to open the spreadsheet window where you can enter the initial value. We entered a value of 900, whatever, almost a million, which means that the arrival process will be terminated after this number, 999. Arrival calls clearly that we will explain. Okay, we also defined the variable calls per arrival and initialize it to a value of 1, meaning that 1 call at a time. This initialization is not visible in figure 5.2. Again, we will explain this a bit later. What they mean, guys. It's not visible on this picture. Where is that picture now? On this picture, the data under the calls per arrival, it's 1. Okay, now let's assume we want our arriving call to be eliminated as a black ball. as a black ball. So we could assign a picture using an assign module, but we specified in our create module that the entity type was incoming call. So at this point, we should click on our entity data module and select picture black ball from the drop down list in the initial picture cell. I doubt that we have black ball. Let's go to entity. If you don't have a color that you think that you need, it's simple. You must create it. So how do you create it? You go to animate, you go to entity, pictures, then you come here. So we need a black ball here. So it is best to edit. So when you edit, you don't just change, you add. So I'm going to copy like this, the blue ball, and I'm going to make it my black ball. I'm going to make it my black ball. How so? Then I need to edit it by double clicking on it. When you click somewhere, you'll see sometimes it doesn't want to listen to you. So you need to right click and select all. Then you go under draw and then you fill it, make this to be black. And then you click this, click OK, and the spelling matters also. We'll take the blue ball first and edit it slightly. Black ball, like that. So now we are required to record what? The number, record all the attempted calls. Then you add this. Then the value is 1. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number of what? Attempted calls. Like that. Okay. Then now we're going to select, we're going to decide for the first time. We're going to decide for the first time. Here, what are we deciding? Is the trunk line available? Here's a question. Is it available now? So we're going to make this what? And agree you find this thing by default at two-way chance. You must change it to two-way by condition of expression. You have it as a variable, you have it as whatever that you have there. So you're going to make it as a condition of expression. So that condition you're gonna see what's gonna happen. It says the number of resources NR. No, let's read first. NR stands for is the current number of busy units, meaning busy resources, and the variable MR is the current number of units scheduled of the resource. Okay, so now the number of resources currently being used, which is 1 to 26, must be less than the total number scheduled, meaning the 26 scheduled. And this we can see that it is also what? It is also a variable. Then you go back to this thing. Number of resource, busy, which is the trunk line, should be less than the number of resources available, basically. Of the line. If you go beyond, if you have 27, you start dumping. Be smart. Address this thing now. Go to your resources. Trunk is a resource. Trunk is a resource. Trunk line is a resource. And how many? 26. You see now this terminology is how they go. You give it a code, you go address it. Then now they just tell you that since there are 26 trunk lines, you will need to open resource data module and change the capacity to 26. Let's address this part. Record what? What do you want to count? Rejected calls. Dispose what? Now, we have the seize. What are you seizing? You seize the trunk line. Seize what does it require? A resource. What's the name of the resource? Your resource is there already. It's trunk line. You leave it at 1. Don't change anything here. Click OK. Now, we have that decision that you want to make. Before you make it, earlier on I did speak about the assign that was supposed to be here. The assigned duty is going to be for helping us track the active calls into the system, the overall system. That's why it comes here. It's going to track the overall system, calls that are in the system. So it's going to be your total work in progress. So as this one is going to be increment active call counter, and it's going to use a variable. The variable name is going to be total WIP. Now, total WIP plus 1. So the total WIP initially is 0. And once the first call comes in, it comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are successful calls. These are your successful calls. This one here is going to record all the rejected calls. Then this one here is going to be recording all the calls that managed to get into the system. Then this one, you must read on it. We are storing store for initial. So this is when you are listening to the initial recording. Recording delay. And we have this as initial recording delay. And you move right along, and you have a delay of a process time now, a process initial recording delay. Then you have that. It's already done for you. Oops. Why it says if it has this name somewhere? It sucks, but it's fine. We've been opening this thing for the whole day. Maybe if we do it like this, it'll work. Unstore the recording. Unstore from initial recording. Then you release that you need to release the resource there. You're not showing it here, but you must release it. Release rather say trunk line. And what's your resource? Your resource is trunk line. Click OK. You must go read on the store and uninstall of things, because you might need to use it when you speak to the the doctor at the hospital. Or there's a person when you get to a there's some sort of a receptionist even in the bank. So now we have to determine now this. We're here. We didn't add anything. Yeah, we are there. So it says the call is sent to a decide module, whereby we select the n-way by chance type. The specified percentage is 1716. So we have done the 1716 there. Which its name. This one, what are you this for? Because we want to decide which you're not determining the product, but you want to decide whether you're going for technical or thing. So I want the better for it. What is it that we're deciding? Determine call type. The names are very easy there. Determine call type and OK. And then we want us to go back to something which is ending the call. I want ending the call. For end the calls above 6 o'clock now. The condition to end the calls above 6 o'clock. And we're gonna assign the security guard can basically suppose it's designed with this condition here and create so in this create we have what we remember that the system closes to new calls after 6 p.m. So we're going to show you how to use the variable makes calls to terminate the call arrivals in the next section. That it's called arrival cutoff logic. Né? So it's going to have this. Create arrival cut off entity on get cut off and the arrival time I need to confirm that. I want to read and to confirm. So what they are saying is we indicated that the system closes new calls after after 6 p.m. But all calls that are entered the system before that time, they are answered and processed. This means that we allow calls to enter the system from 8 a.m. to 6 o'clock, which is a total of 600 minutes. So that is 8 hours multiplied by 60, you're gonna get 600. Actually, 10 hours, I mean, from 8 to 6, we're gonna get around 600 minutes. Normally, we would end the simulation run at 600, meaning once we are satisfied with the number of calls, we end the system, but we don't want. However, before we terminate the simulation run, we need to handle any calls that arrive before time, which is before 6 o'clock. We will show you how to determine when all calls have been taken care of and how to terminate the run later. So we used that one obvious way to shut off arrivals after 600 minutes would be to insert a decide module that the arriving calls would enter immediately after the create module that creates the arriving calls. The decide module would, this is a would situation, meaning that they are deciding to take it. So they are showing that you could say that would immediately enter after create module that creates arriving calls. The decide module will check to see if the current simulation time was less than 600. If this statement is true, the entity will be allowed to continue. Otherwise, it will get to the entity will be sent to dispose module. Although this method will shut off the arrivals altogether, and actually it will shut off every system altogether. Though it will, okay, so say though it will not terminate the run, but it could slow down the run with this extra checking of each potential arrival. Therefore, we have chosen to be little tricky and introduce a concept called logical entity, sometimes called fake entity. I like this. It reminds me of my PLC days where we had a memory input or output. So a fake entity to cut off our arrival calls. Okay. Even though what they're saying there, it's not incorrect. It's rather correct of terminating it via the terminating it via the decision. I think it will be good because it doesn't really stop the system from running. It will just start blocking from 600. It starts blocking stuff basically. So they prefer that approach. Homework time. Potential of your test. As you are practicing, I need you to use the decision module to prevent products from entering the trunk after 600 minutes. That is your homework. If you are, I won't post this homework anywhere. However, one thing I can assure you is that I want you to practice it, and I will practice it on my side. And I'll practice it on my side. Should I get it right, it is in the test. That concept of filtering the number of incoming calls beyond a certain time, of filtering the number of calls beyond a certain time. So what you need to discover, we'll just say, okay, either it must come here, or I think it might need to come here or here, or because you need to record all the calls before you end it. Because one thing I'm not sure is whether you can also create this. So you must test both scenarios. Yeah, putting it here and also putting it here. That decision. So now you know. If I figure it out by myself, it's in the test. If you figure it out by yourself and I don't figure it out, you are safe. But you need to practice it until you figure it out. So yeah, because the approach they're using obviously is tricky, and my aim is to do what? Is to simplify the test. So okay, that's why I'm considering this method, and I'm giving it out like that as your potential scope. Okay, so now, where are we? Only for this exercise, I need to bring up the book and we do it together step by step, that method that they are suggesting. It's going to be strictly focused on these 3 steps. These 3 steps there. Okay. They say now they're introducing this method, yeah? Which I don't wanna be. I don't wanna put it as a test. I don't want it in my test. I will inform you once I figure it out, and I will won't show you how it's done because it will be like I'm showing the test. So you must go figure it out also yourself. If I'll tell you that I failed and then we are using this method. Okay, what they're saying now. In this case, we create a logical entity that will cut off incoming calls, then be destroyed. The activities to accomplish this are shown here. The flowchart modules are shown on 5.3, which is this. Okay, then we have dispose of entity, dispose of entity. Then we have this assign, which is cut off incoming calls. What is it going to be? They expect that this section of our model will interact with the rest of the model via two global variables. We start by creating our control entity with a create module. Okay, we've specified a constant arrival type with value of which is the 900,000. Ne? So okay, that part I'm gonna go to it. And then, however, we specified that the first arrival time will occur at 600 minutes. 600 minutes, ne? That's going to be your first creation. That they will only and that there will only be one arrival at maximum time. As it turns out, we've selected any type, any value, because they are never used. So it's going to look like this. So, but now here I'll have to add something. I'll just leave it like this. Then I want to go here to address this issue here. So they want us to take a constant of 999,999. However, this it doesn't say entities per arrival. It says your first creation is at 600 minutes because of this is actually also in minutes at 600. Ne? First creation is at 600. However, your maximum arrival is 1, meaning that after 600 minutes, you could only consider 1 ne? Maximum arrival after. But this is how we're going to treat it. That 1 doesn't mean that is going to work. It's going to enter the system. Okay, so that 1 is going to be addressed here. The cutoff incoming calls, the assign. So it has a variable called max calls. Max calls is there already. And then the maximum call you are also given it's 1. However, the calls per arrival, it cannot be 1, meaning that it will allow new calls to come into the system. Calls per arrival is going to be 0. So it destroys every call that is coming. click OK. Then the system is should be done. Then we read here what they mean. The single logical entity at time 600 enters the the following assign module, where we assign the variable max calls a value of 1 and the variable calls per arrival a value of 0. By setting the value of the variable max calls to 1, we have stopped the creation of any new arrival calls. And we assume that you might be a little bit confused at this point. The storylines that I don't like, but it's fine. We also assigned variable in initial value 99999 in the variable data module. They're talking about the fact that they've used this 9999 as max calls. However, because we are at the time 600 in our simulation run, we can be assured that we have had more than one arrival since the first creation was at time 0. By now at 600, setting the value of max calls to 1, we are shutting off our arriving call stream. So 600 will still go through, and then after that, nothing will go through. However, initially we said that they can go up to million, but this million is in a form of minutes, basically. However, because of the way create module works, we need to do one more thing in the cutoff incoming calls, assigning module now at time 600 to ensure that no calls arrive after 600. When a creation occurs, Arena schedules the next creation as long as max arrival has not been reached. So as time 600 is approached, there will be a last legal call that arrives prior to time 600. And this call will schedule one more illegal call, which will indeed arrive at some point after 6 o'clock. Yet they're still servicing. I need to know us, we act as if we don't know that the bank has closed. We'll hold them, stand outside. So they know that you're gonna come. And then to kill off this illegal call, when it arrives late, we now set the variable call per arrival to 0. And then it's initialized to 1 in the variable data module. So we'll be up until 600 times. However, in the way we want it and entered that in the entity per arrival field of create call arrivals, create module. Hey, this whole English guys works with time. Sometimes it gets insufficient. Even reading these things, I feel mumbled to myself. So when this illegal call arrives at some time past 600, it will be said to have 0 entities, and the end result is that no call actually enters the system. After this time, no more calls will be scheduled due to the entry of 1 in the max arrivals field. Having accomplished its single task in life, our logical entity is now sent to dispose module that destroys entities, thus ending our logical model section. Now we move right along to technical support. I need just less than a minute of personal care. As you know, our classes, if it was in a normal day, I would be working out of my class and go home or go to my office. But unfortunately, we've been consuming all sorts of things. So now the body says, hey, Baba, you must have personal care. So I need just 1 minute. All right. Apologies for that. So now we are going back to to technical. We'll start with this this information. The type of entity coming here is that one. It's a black ball. I believe here also we should use the same. I can go to entities. And we still use what? The black ball. Okay? Because we don't want it to differentiate. Although it's very important that as we move along, we change the color. It is very important that we change the color of our entity as it gains value. As it gains value. This would be a scenario of a manufacturing plant. You know that it comes as a black ball, it comes out as a red. You understand? So this is what it's all about, basically. So looks like I don't need this. So I don't need this. Because what will I be seizing now? It's not clear what I will be seizing, so rather I'll swap this with the picture that I want to see from here. With the picture that I want from here. So the book states that we have assign entity type and picture delay for recording. Assign entity type, which changes now to be tech call. You see that? The call was initially your incoming call. Now it has changed to become a tech call. Then all of a sudden we need a picture. We need this maybe to be, let me be precise, a red ball. Then I store what? Tech store tech store for tag call recording delay. And the type is storage. Then the name is tag call recording delay storage. Okay. And then your delay now, tag call recording delay. The time is in minutes and it's uniform. .1 and 0.5. Then unstore unstore from tag call recording delay. So upon completing the delay, it enters an unstore module where the entity is removed from the storage where it had been placed, as shown in display. Again, the default option will remove entity from last storage that it entered. The call is sent to the decide module. Okay, described in display 17, where the product type that is determined. So now seems like I do not have the releasing of this. It only delay, but it doesn't release because of, okay, we don't need to release because we never ceased. Because if we were ceased, we were gonna seize what? We were gonna seize the resource, and the resources are only selected after here. So now we're going to say determine product type. Click OK. Due to the activities we have conducted before, we are able just to cruise nicely, edit, and just move on. It becomes a lot easy. And now we're going to process we have the entity type, right? That determines the color of the that we're dealing with. All right, it's perfect. Now we are here. Process one. We are processing what? Process product type 1. Then delay. This is delay release. What's your resource? Is type 1. Click OK. This one is take time. We'll leave it like that. And you can, as you can see, these are all in minutes. So we're going to move with that sequence. Process product type 2 take call and add. Because we have done these things, now we are able to utilize them. Click OK. And somebody is seeing flames right now, somewhere, somehow. They're like, hey, when did we? Let's watch the entire recording. Process product type 3 take call. Mind you, I always say this, your test won't be this long. However, invest time in the data capturing and the process flow. Aim is to make you pass, but you decide the fate. Then all the things of determining, I'm skipping them as we speak, because everything we have addressed it nicely prior to this. Take time, we've dealt with it. Take time, the sales time, we've dealt with it. Now, the sales guy, give him the picture, assign the picture to the sales people. Place assign there and connect it. There is 16 there and connect it there. So now we are assigning what? The sales entity type and the picture. Assign sales call entity type and picture. Add. What are we doing? Entity type. Calls. Sales. Where is the sales now? Sales call. So we are changing this entity now, its name. When the entity comes, it came as a arrival call. So now we are saying now you are becoming a sales call. This is what it means. You're becoming a sales call and you have a picture and you change in color. Then we take green, Paul. And process 4, everything is done. We do this, and then we add a resource. It says so. So now we need to process sales call. The resource seems to be correct. Okay. The sales time already dealt with it under expressions, as you can see there. Last but not least. Yeah. We have order calls, order status calls. Whereby we're going to assign a blue ball for it. Assign order status entity type and picture. So the entity now becomes an order call. A patient that is there to see a radiologist or whatever the case. We'll see. Or I am here to see the bank manager. Add entity type. Order status call. Then this one comes from the top there. Here. There and there. So now there's a decision that we need to still take. we need to decide whether we want our order status call to be handled by a human or a robot. We have that option. So we're going to delay first. I need to read first. The order status calls are handled automatically by the phone system, which means they are initially incur a delay like the arriving and technical support calls. As with the previous two delays, we want to show the call on animation so that we could use a store delay and unstore module combination. Like we did in the first two delays. So they said they could, but this time, let's take a different approach and use delay module from blocks panel. By using this module, we can capture the same functionality as we did with the previous combination of modules, since it contains store and unstore logic. The entity will be placed in defined storage. It will incur a delay and the entity will be removed from the storage where we make entries for the label same as name of duration and storage ID. I don't have those. This is the only storage I have. No. There's only one delay. This is the delay that we have. So by the look of things, we need to put all those in things of to store and store whatever, because you're given an option to choose here whether you want to go ahead with listening to this thing online or you want to use human beings. So you will do that on your time. So this uses uniform. Order status delay. Two comma 3 comma 4. And then you choose now. So if you don't want no salesperson required, meaning you're saying no salesperson required, then you're gonna say 85%. Meaning 85, we don't need to be assisted by a human being. Then you're going to dump that. So if you want to be assisted by the human being, it's going to be how much? 50%. So we're going to assigning the priority. So the priority goes like this. I did talk about the priority, man. I believe so. This will be called. In our initial description, we indicated that order status calls are routed to the sales staff where they will wait with a lower priority than sales calls. This means that if an order status call is in a queue waiting for a salesperson and the new sales call enters, the sales call will be given priority over the product status call and be answered first through the new sales call, will not preempt an order status call that might already be in progress. Okay, so to do that, this is how we do it. We place that, and then it's going to be assign set order priority sales person. Then why is the resource type can't do? Okay, then that is going to be a variable, no, a attribute. Then the attribute says sales call priority, which is 1. The result is that sales calls have a sales call priority with a value of 0, and order status calls have the sales call priority with a value of 1. Next, we will send entity Cs module. You might ask why you're using Cs. So Cs module, after that, Cs and order status C this sales person, and you add the salesperson. Click OK, and then we're gonna have delay. delay what? Order status conversation with sales person. Don't make your names to be this long. I agree, this for learning purposes, this one. This is 4 close. This is supposed to be minutes, and yeah, okay, and then we need to release the statement. Then we release this person. We release the salesperson. Order status release status call releases sales person. What is the resource being released? The salesperson. Then okay, and then now we're exiting the system altogether. We are exiting the system altogether. We're going to have release trunk line. You're going to decrement, increment, decrement, where the number, meaning that when you were adding the number coming into the trunk, you want to make sure that at the end of the day you have that minus. You were planning to save 300 patients. At the end, how many did you save? So it needs to say 0 on the other side. So if we have something remaining, that it means that you didn't do your job properly. There were some items remaining, so that one is going down. So and then you record and you dispose. And you write their names and fill up the details. Release trunk line. Resource trunk line. So ending call. So it tells you that you did something wrong. Then now what are you assigning? You're assigning the decrement, increment, decrement, what active call counter. So there was a call counter that was counting products coming in. Now we want to decrement it. So it's going to total WIP. And then This is very critical. Then total loop now looks like this, but not just like that. We need to say -1. Click OK. Then what are recording all calls, obviously, or record completed calls. Add what is the name of this? Completed calls. Then how do we link everything up? Come here, click that, connect there, click this, connect there, click that, connect there, click this, connect there. I want entity picture of a human celebrating. And this one goes there. Okay. Now we are done. We need to go to place the eliminating condition to say with run setup. That's our T now equals to equal or greater than 600, and total work in progress is equals to 0. Length of replication is 600. Something that I didn't capture right. Okay, this if this is the thing that infinite is good. Infinite. Nothing wrong with it. Minutes here. Minutes even here. Apply and then call center example. And then obviously save this call center exercise. issue of saving, it has been always been emphasized. You know how to save. You must save with your own details, no one else's details. No name in your work, no mark. Sometimes it's even easy to check certain things. You go there, click, check. Delays, minutes are there. These ones. Yeah, they're all in minutes. And these ones. Okay. And then now we're clicking on the data tables. Entity, look at the balls. Tech sales as an entity. Tech call. Sales call. I will rely to the assigned ones. Okay. Expressions there. Resource there. Variable there. Then embrace for errors. Once you are here and the time is up, just submit your work, save it and submit. Don't even waste your time. You've done a lot to pass. A linker error detected while processing outputs. The process product type 1 tech call wait time. A variable or other symbol was used without first being defined. We need to go and track that. First thing first, you must say this one wants us to close. Something that we included that was not supposed to be part of this. The variables, okay. Trunk, status, resource, okay. Let's go check this one. Priority, sales priority. Well, sales priority is one. I've done it. Okay. Process type 1. All right. Let's go check process type 1 here. Open it. Edit. Type 1. That's a resource, yes. hold on. Take time. Right, take time. Processes call. Question. Resource. Okay. Resource one. Type one. Go on the resources. Okay. Here. Yeah, troubleshooting this because of for the sake of us learning, I have to. This is obviously a resource and it's type 1. That's perfectly fine. 2. Maybe let me change the name. But it's the same text call. Expression take time. Okay. I'm gonna run one more time. No, not one more time. I was run and run and run until this thing. All right. So it's picking up more errors. Release trunk line. 1. Attempt to release non-busy resource trunk line. Cannot release 1 unit when number busy is 00. Right. You stop and you edit trunk line. Okay, trunk line is supposed to be 26. But there everything is fine. So you don't want us to do this or what? Trunk line, okay, but it's there. We release trunk line. Although we didn't release it to the top there. Because it doesn't appear like it's the first time we're releasing this trunk line. I want to see from the diagram. Okay, they didn't release it here. Okay, yeah, shouldn't have released it there. That's where my problem was. So that and that, then run. The black ball becomes red when it's coming here, becomes green when it's going there, becomes blue when it's coming here. So indeed it does change all the colors, which is nice. It does change all the colors. This is good. And then increase the pace. And click yellow. Then your report comes out with your name there at top, which is I don't have that much of a problem with a report. This is will be obviously utilized on your Excel. So now I saw work in progress happening twice. I'm wondering where is it? Work in progress taking I want to see where they are set the decrement. I want to see any information regarding the decrement. So the number of attempted calls 712, and out of that the completed calls was 600 and then 76 were rejected. Out of that, the tech call received 484 and it released 484, which is a good thing. And then the trunk line seized around about 636, which is good. Utilization of around about 79% for product 1, so was working. Type 3 was working harder than them all. He managed to seize 201 goods products. I want to see the total should be around about 484. So that's another way to analyze this. You can see that Tech 1, 2, and 3, the total number that they have produced was 484 there, which is good. Then the sales people, they dealt with number in, number out. They didn't have any issues also. 103. And then I'm wondering who lost our products. Who lost our products? But this is a number in that were successful. All of them were serviced. 713 calls. All 713 calls were serviced. So this is output stat. This is good. This is good. When we're dealing with integers, this is really good. This information here is really good. You can almost tell what is happening. So then here, as you can see, rejected calls 76, and then completed calls 636, and then attempted call 712. So attempted calls, these are the calls that went into the system in 8 hours time. And 76 were rejected. Okay, this also the spec there. It's very good. So I want to see order status call. What's happening with this work in progress now? Okay, but at some point we did mention the issue of it being 0, because we are substituting going backward. Tech being that tech call whip. So this could be one of the tech call. It had work in progress of 13, which is a problem. What? Yeah, it might say, it must suggest that it had, although at the same time it says whatever that it managed to process, it processed all of it. So we're supposed to see zeros only here. So, and also you know that there's something, if by the time you finish running, look now, I cannot start because of it's still running. So you can see that there's nothing on the system here. That's another sign that shows you that everything that we were working with was indeed satisfied. We don't have things hanging. So that's why now we stop. We are ready to run again. So all the processes, all the sales calls, yeah, everything's supposed to be 0, but yeah, it's something that is of interest. With further analysis, you must incorporate AI to assist you there and there, so that you can be able to analyze your data nicely and or your results nicely. It must tell you what are the things to look out for and stuff like that, and yeah, generate graphs, tables, and so on and so on. So we know now that we are writing on that day, or I believe it's the 13th. However, this is subject to finalization by me contacting the moderator, and once the moderator gives us a go-ahead by moderating the question paper, then we will talk. We will talk based on how long I also take. It simply means that I have to give more time. I thought 2 hours was going to be sufficient, but it looks like we're going to need 3 hours. So whatever time we will start at, the lab is going test is going to be 3 hours. I can bet you 30 minutes is going to be for theory. The rest, that's for your lab. The rest is for your lab test. So do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay. In absentia of questions, I will upload this recording as soon as it's available. And I'll stop